Thank you, Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and fellow guests. To speak or not to speak? For truly that is the question. Many years ago, say 30 years ago, I could have told you, I would swear my life on that you would never catch me up here speaking. There was no way that was going to happen. And as you see, if I was a betting man, I would have lost, because I'm up here speaking right now. The question is, what made me think back then that I couldn't be where I am right now? I am a firm believer in the past, present, and the future, and that each time you are in those areas, they join together to make you who you are. So in order for you to understand who I am, I've developed a transporter. And this transporter is going to take us into time. So I'm going to punch in the year 1984. And as we zip through time and space, we're going to arrive at my elementary school, Mason Road Junior Public School. And you're going to see in the back row, let's say the third row, a young black child with a very serious looking face. The very face you see is me. The reason why? My teacher said, class, today we are going to prepare our speech arts presentation. Now, many of you heard public speaking, but I heard public execution. Because what you don't understand is that when you have an issue with speaking, it's the worst thing that ever happened to you, is to be put in a spot where you have to now exploit yourself. My past was a training ground of what it would take to get me to this point in my life. So after being diagnosed with a stuttering condition, speech impediment, I was sent to speech therapy class. So for the entire school year, twice a week, I had to sit in the class in a session, learning essentially how to speak again, and to learn what triggered my stuttering and what I could do to become better at speaking and to avoid the things that would trip me up. And after they realized, Clement, when you get excited or anxious, you speak really quickly. And as you start speaking faster, your words get jumbled up. So now I ask you, do you remember internet dial-up? Remember how we used to sit in front of the computer, log on to the World Wide Web to get all this information and knowledge? And you would have to listen to this screeching noise, this annoying screeching noise, and to watch these words, connecting, 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 flash before your eyes. And what felt like an eternity, all of a sudden to your excitement or horror, you saw disconnected. Please try it. Well, that's what stuttering was like for me. See, I had all this information up here, and as I was trying to connect, it was never downloading to my tongue. And there became the stuttering, the repetition of words, which led obviously to fear, embarrassment, and a low self-esteem. Not something you want to have if you want to be in the art of public speaking. So as I learned this training ground, we're going to pull out my time machine again, and we're going to fast forward ourselves to the present time. And the present time, there were 3 milestones that hit me to get to where I am. One was I spent 8 years with junior high kids. And if you have an opportunity to speak with junior high kids, they will tell you the honest truth. If you have a message and they don't understand it, they'll let you know. If you're stuttering is a joke, they will let you know. They are brutal, but they are honest. And for 8 years, I spoke to these kids. And for 8 years, not once did I think about my stuttering. I always made excuses and told people, oh, I have a stuttering condition. And they would look at me like I had 2 heads and said, Clement, we don't see this. We've never heard you stutter. I said, okay. I went to school and I graduated from Harris for production engineering. And I started my own business doing event management. And in both scenarios, you have to speak in public. I was able to teach people the art of communicating to your text so that they could get the sound quality to be effective. How to plan an event and get the information that to deal with the client so that they would understand what it took and why they would hire me to put on their event. And again, no one brought up this problem of my stuttering. What did I learn? I was magnifying my mistakes. I was magnifying my weakness, thinking it was affecting everybody, and nobody noticed it. I learned, do not magnify your weakness, because there's a good chance nobody else knows. That was a milestone, which brought me to this position right here, Toastmasters 2013. As I said, you would never catch me up here. So why am I here? because someone said, Clem, you have a really good gift of speaking. Why don't you join a group? Never thought about that. Never thought I could do it. Coming to this part right here told me one thing, that there are opportunities, and opportunities will always be presented before you, and to take those opportunities. We pull out my transporter and move to the future. And where does that future lead me? To where my goals are, to where my dreams are. As I said, it wasn't speaking. But what I've learned, and it's funny how I understood this, was that every excuse that I made prepared me for this spot right here. My past was nothing more than a foundation. The present was nothing more than opportunities that I could get to the future. My future, to be a facilitator, helping people through their situations. Or an inspirational speaker, to let them know no matter what your problems are, you can still make it through. And fourthly, y'all, I don't know how many of you know TED Talks, but I'm hooked on that. If you get the opportunity to watch ordinary people share their ideas and vision on a grand scale, that's where I see myself being. I want to leave you with this understanding of Robert Louis Stevenson. And he said this. He said, we cannot run from our fears. Sorry, we cannot run from our weakness. But we must fight. And I said, wow, that's amazing. He said, because if you're going to fight, then do it now. To do it now and where you stand. Ladies and gentlemen, to speak or not to speak, I choose to speak.